To Cody and Gold on 610 Sports Radio. On today's show, Gold makes his triumphant return to the station. Will the Chiefs DBs be up to the challenge again? And did Clark Hunt drop a hint on what could be next for Arrowhead? Special guests include Steve Palazzolo at 10:30. Now two guys experiencing Phoenix in very different ways. Cody Tapp and Alex Gold.
We are back, baby. We are back. We are
back?
ready to roll. I am.
What percentage would you say you're at?
So I actually feel so much better today. And the question is whether I'll have to get up during the show at any point in time. Right now, I think we're going to
like somebody who's feeling better.
It's much better than yesterday. I appreciate you guys.
Bag of crackers and
We
diarrhea
got, we have
Hold them up.
Oh yeah, on the stream.
Yeah.
We've got some great, generic brand diarrhea stuff. We've got
Diarrhea stuff.
we've got some premium saltine crackers. We got some Gatorade. We're in a much better spot than
By the way,
yesterday. I'll tell you
Pepto-Bismol
that.
should have you in charge of their marketing campaign. Diarrhea stuff.
Well, I'm
what's
not going to
the
give them
point?
free love. That's why you noticed that. And by the way, I did buy the generic. I didn't want to give them free love. It's basically
free money.
the local pharmacy or the national pharmacy's branded, anti-diarrhea medicine.
Is
That's
it
what we're
true
going
or
with.
false that the guy who checked you out at that store said, "I hope you feel better, man"?
Yeah, so I ran there because when we got here, I'm
Should've been
like,
like, it's not for me.
when we got here,
Somebody else's
In the car.
diarrhea medicine.
when we got here on Radio Row, I was like, oh, this is going to be a problem. And so I looked it up. Cody looked it up, and it was a 9-minute walk to get to the pharmacy. And when I checked out with the combination of Gatorade, saltine crackers, and medicine, anti-diarrhea, he's like, hope you feel better, man.
What'd you say? What'd you
I was like,
respond with?
me too, is what I said. I was hoping it's the same thing for me as well.
I'm like, oh, no, it's not for my butt. It's for somebody else's butt.
Make it as awkward as possible.
I appreciate you guys holding it down yesterday, and hopefully you guys caught on Twitter our post-show press conference that we had. Very controversial, controversial. I heard some of the comments from Cody. There was a Wally Pip comment that was made as well. We'll
People are
see.
talking.
We will see how it goes, man. Of course, we are here on Radio Row, brought to you by Ray Gun and Baker University. We will have Steve Palazzolo joining us in about 30 minutes or so, and who knows who else is going to stop by as well. Nick is going to be walking around. We're going to be getting different people. I will bring it up in a little bit. There was somebody that I was told you guys could have had on the show. I have to address that in about 15, 20 minutes or so. Someone told me an individual was here, and I'm wondering why you guys did not have him on the show. So that's going to be coming up in a little bit.
Was it harder for you to miss the electric interview with Clark Hunt or
look.
the 1-year anniversary of Gum Bucket? Two big moments in the show yesterday.
Got multiple texts throughout the show or tweets, and I appreciate those that did text or tweet. Although they used the hashtag RIP Alex, so I don't know what on earth you guys said.
You were on your deathbed yesterday. So.
Cody doesn't think things through sometimes, and he's just like, that was the first thing that I think that popped into his head was, let's just do RIP Alex as a hashtag.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Get better, Alex. It's too long.
But people did mention, did you know it was 1 year since the Gum Bucket incident? And yeah, I'm really bummed that I wasn't here for that.
You know what's
Can't
so
believe it's
funny?
been a year.
You know what's so funny about that is that it was the 1-year anniversary, which means we must have done that right after the Chiefs
Had to have
lost to Cincinnati in the AFC Championship game. Which that felt like more of a summer conversation.
I can't believe it was
in my
a year.
head.
It was a random question of the day.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been a year. That's what was really surprising. And then I forgot how my reaction basically was like, what are you doing?
The second
Essentially.
time,
Pounding on the table. Yeah, it's great.
the second time was, I don't remember it being that bad. I remember being bad, not that bad. When it played yesterday, I'm like, oh my, there was like a whole conversation, like the thing Gold was trying to joke about the movie series and all that before it made it so much worse.
Oh, the whole horse thing?
Yeah.
Oh, horse semen. You said horse semen so many times in that clip. That was shocking amount of times you said horse semen.
It was not good. Bad combo. I said, I didn't even bring it up. You guys keep talking
What
about
happened to that old, edgy Alex that just wasn't afraid to let it fly? Where'd he go?
Oh, we're here. We're 90. I think we're at 90%
You haven't,
today
you
overall.
haven't talked about horse semen once in the last 365 days.
No, we're slacking. Maybe around the Kentucky Derby. We'll get that'll be my breakdown and
Bring it back.
analysis and,
People
and
want it.
stud fees that are going to be out there and things like that. Of course, you guys can hit us up throughout the show on the J Southland Tow Service text line 913-586-7610. But let's talk about this game coming up on Sunday. And I think, if you're looking at the matchups that we keep getting asked about whenever we hop on different stations, everybody's discussing the offensive line versus the defensive line on Philadelphia. But if I were to tell you, outside of that, what is the biggest matchup of this game? Perhaps it actually lies in the secondary.
I think that when you start looking at who matches up best or worst right across the group, or who really needs to win theirs, I think you make a huge argument for the rookie corners versus Philadelphia Eagles wide receivers. We've talked a lot about the trenches in this game, rightfully so. They both have, top-level offensive lines and defensive lines, so that's not surprising to find out. But how rookie corners are going to hold up to super talented wide receivers is always going to be intriguing to me. I know it's hard because we just got out of a game where they were up against T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, and Tyler Boyd, and there were plenty of challenges, right, that came from that grouping. But they're still rookies, kinda, and I know we're trying to wash that away. We said, can we stop?
I told you,
I
don't think we can view them as rookies anymore. We're in February now. They've played the longest seasons of their football lives. They, of course, in college playing 12 games max, and now they're playing soon to be 19 plus, 19, 20 games here in the NFL season. And so I don't view Jalen Watson. I really don't. I'm not telling you that I think they're going to just shut down A.J. Brown or Devontae Smith. I think that's not happening. But I'm not worried about Trent McDuffie or Jalen Watson or any of those guys in particular being ready for this moment and they're going to have this rookie collapse suddenly in the Super Bowl. No, I'm not. Not at all, as a matter of fact.
I think, and collapse is probably strong, but that is a big matchup for them. They can't get beat too often in those, and it's really about making them work hard. I guess some of this is, I think Snead's going to play, right? He's going to practice. He's at practice, so there's no reason to think the concussion's going to hold him back. There's absolutely no reason to think that's not going to be the case, but it's still yet another challenge. Those big, tall wide receivers, they've given the Chiefs problems in the past.
Mike Williams
they found a way to make Jamar Chase work. They have. They really have. They've done a much better job about that. But it feels like, to me, the matchups in the trenches are relatively even. I think both these teams are good there. That was the whole conversation about Cincinnati. They were definitively better than that team on the offensive and defensive line, and that might have been the single biggest reason why they won that game. That's obviously not the case against Philadelphia, so then we start going down to the other matchups. Where can they take advantage? We know for the Chiefs, their single biggest mismatch in any game is Travis Kelce. Because as much as we talk about, hey, you haven't had to prepare for how Philadelphia runs the ball, right? They run their offense different. No other team in the NFL has a tight end like Travis Kelce. You have not played a team like that. You will not have to play a team like that. And I know that George Kittle, he's probably the closest thing to it. They had a quarterback. So with this portion of it doesn't concern me. I do think that's maybe the next matchup that I want to pay attention to.
Yeah, if we're going away from even on the field specifically, I still think the biggest matchup, but advantage-wise for Kansas City, other than, as you pointed out, the quarterback is coaching in this game. I don't think that is something we can ignore at all.
Sirianni's a second-year coach.
He's a second-year coach, and Andy's in his fourth Super Bowl. He's going to be, probably when it's all said and done, a number 3, number 4 NFL coach of all time, if not higher. He's already the second most second most postseason wins in NFL history. And the routine even of this week, all this extra media stuff, that Radio Row. Travis Kelce was actually here on Radio Row last night at 7 o'clock filming their podcast, New Heights, over on the NFL set, diagonal from us here on Radio Row. All the media stuff from opening night, the extra media availability every day, all that is stuff the Chiefs have gone through 3 times. Yeah, there's some newcomers on this team, but the coaching element and just being able to go through the process, they're far more experienced in that. Andy mapping out exactly what last week was going to look like. How last week was really the week where you were going to get everything accomplished, knowing that you're going to have all these extra obligations to handle. And Mitchell Schwartz was talking about that last week with Carrington Harrison.
That's the show. Christian
McCaffrey walked by.
Joe, he's been on the show.
Yeah, how about you just go sprint right in front of him? Just go sprint and get on the show.
Seeing him in person, he's a very nondescript-looking white guy.
See if you could tackle him.
Oh, my gosh.
See if you could take down Christian
Why would you want to tackle Christian McCaffrey?
He's an all-pro running back.
So do you think you can't?
He wouldn't even
If he didn't see it coming,
move.
do you think you could knock him down?
No.
If he didn't see you coming, he's coming from behind, right?
He's
unstable. You don't know.
He's unstable. Listen to yourself. Listen to yourself.
What do you think? He is always. You can't knock him down.
What Christian McCaffrey looks like?
Full speed. Nick sprints to run into him.
You literally just did. He just walked by.
He is an absolute freak.
He's brick bleep house.
Yeah. He's headed over, I think, to the old FanDuel tent over there, maybe to go on McAfee's show.
Cody Gold.
Yeah.
Widely considered one of the top 50 radio shows in the country in middays.
Widely?
Widely considered. You don't think so?
haven't pulled the room. I could try. Nobody's come up to me today. Yeah, we should.
Here's what you do: you go up to anybody we want, and you say, "Look, you guys know that we're not the best midday show in the country. We're not fifth, not the 10th, not the 15th. We're officially, as of today, the 18th best midday show in mid-market." It's the only rankings that I know of that exist. They came out today. They're voted on by
the only rankings
18th.
I like how the last line that Gold slipped in there was, they're voted on by people. It's voted on by people. Program director
versus what?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's when you go up. I'm sure that'll help.
Robots.
Just say we're not the top 5. We're the 18th.
Yeah.
Well, that's something we should have a sign actually we put right by our set. It just says 18th.
Is that better or worse? I was once ranked the worst sports radio host in the city.
Rather recently.
But that was 13th. So is this better or worse for me? There were 18 shows.
It's kind of that you
I was last in, but higher number.
18th show, but 13th
we should
host.
You should send that link of our national ranking to the guy who ranked you last.
He also, you're clear, 12th.
That's true, but one spot ahead of you, not last.
And Gold was like 4 spots ahead of us. He really liked Alex.
It's still 9.
Thanks for imagine where you'd be ranked if you could.
Yeah, dude.
Get rid of us.
You're getting drugged down by us. There's no doubt you'd be like 6th in that guy's brain.
Yeah.
If it wasn't for the two
I
of
don't.
us.
That guy. I don't know if he's responded to you since that comment.
I don't know. I respected the fact that he put some time into it, though. And I appreciated the side comments that included that Nick was awful and I was the worst.
Mm-hmm.
So, but he can't say that about us anymore. We're 18th.
Yeah, but I'll make sure you put that in our bios. It's just 18th best show.
Yeah.
T-shirts?
Yep. No.
Someone said they would buy the T-shirts if it said Cody and Gold 18th best.
Speaking of T-shirts, I think we may have an announcement today.
Okay. Do you want to make it now or later?
Well, I think we may have an announcement to make.
Is that you're just teasing?
Yeah, I think I'm teasing. I'm teasing a little bit.
Why do you think it's going to happen? Why is it not actually going to happen?
Because I haven't checked in time right now. Like literally
I mean,
right
you can go ahead
now
and say eventually
as
this week.
I'm talking slowly.
Okay, while you're doing that, we can tell people that are in Arizona we're going to be at Pub Rock Live tonight. We're doing a special edition of Arrowhead Pride Radio. We're going to be out with the Arizona Chief Kingdom group tonight, 6 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Mountain Time. There's a huge group of Chiefs fans. A lot of them have actually lived in Kansas City in the past. They're out here in the Valley, and so we'll be out there. Neil Smith's doing some autographs, Lowry and others. Legends going to be there. We'll be Matt Sweeney to be there as well. Haven't seen Pete on Radio Row yet, so we'll have a chance to have Pete actually on our show. I figured Pete would be a very popular on Radio Row. If he walked in, he would be surrounded immediately.
He is not coming to Radio Row today.
He's not?
He is not coming to Radio Row
Wow.
today. No.
But he is coming on Friday with our show. Also, I can't officially announce that the thing you were trying to announce is in
No.
fact
That's my announcement.
Fine,
That's
you
my announcement.
Announce it.
Go for it.
Help you. You're
We
afraid to say
have a special 610 Sports Kansas City collection of T-shirts at raygunsite.com. That is raygunsite.com. If you go to that website, we'll tweet it out from the station account. We'll tweet it out from our personal accounts. We've got Georgie Porgy Pudding Pie shirt.
Of course.
We've got a Smokin' That Joe Burrow shirt.
Great one.
That's my favorite.
We've got a Jody Fortson shirt. We've got a The Name is Marquez, I'm Sorry shirt. All of these are at raygunsite.com, and they're under the Kansas City collection. You can buy these shirts. We're going to be, if you're in there, if you happen to be in Arizona and you're coming out to the event at Pub Rock Live tonight, we're going to have some of these shirts, hopefully, maybe. Don't hold us to it. They're en route right now. If UPS can get off their ass and get their job done today, we're going to have shirts to hand out to people who come out to Pub Rock Live tonight. So these are the only. Where else are you going to get a Georgie Porgy Pudding Pie shirt?
Look, I support UPS, so I appreciate all the hard work that they do. Even if Nick wants to trash you, I appreciate their hard work.
And I told you that I
holding out for that UPS endorsement.
Really appreciate FedEx, UPS, DHL, United States Postal Service, all of them.
I did tell you, Nick, that I would officially switch to Georgie Porgy Pudding Pie if he got a sack in the Super Bowl and they won. So I'm only willing to wear that shirt if he gets a sack in the Super Bowl and Georgie Porgy Pudding Pie is a part of the equation.
Woo!
Man, how happy would that make you? Jody Fortson told you this week he wants to be your friend, which we can get to later.
Dude.
It's been a big week for you.
A huge week for me. It's also been a huge week for whoever Bill's water companies in the greater Phoenix area for all of the toilet flushes that Alex Gold has had to do. It's a bad week. It's a bad week to be a toilet in Phoenix. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So far, everything's good, guys.
You mean today?
Yeah.
Not in general, though.
Yeah. So far, we're off to a better start. We're off to a much better.
I like this.
Not a good start.
I like what we're gonna get constant updates on your bowels.
Well, you just gave an update. We were staying away from it, and you just went there. This tag is in play again. They can double tag him. I think that is still a possibility for the Chiefs to do so, based off of, again, even if we talk all the time about what level of left tackle is Orlando Brown Jr., you still have to also consider what's your replacement option, both what's going to cost financially, draft capital, and all that. I actually think tagging him again might be their best path. So I'm not as certain that he's not back. I think if we're going through a little bit down the roster and like whose game is it, who could be playing the last game, I actually think Juan Thornhill. Based on how they drafted this past year. I know Juan Thornhill has had a really nice season, but you paid money on Justin Reed. You just drafted Brian Cook, who's gotten a lot of playing time. Do they want, I don't know what exactly the salary estimate would be, but do they want to invest on another veteran second contract at the safety spot like that? I'm not so sure. So he would be, he's not back next season. Somebody else that's going to be interesting, not as certain, but like, I feel like there's this assumption automatically whenever we talk about Clyde being activated. You and I obviously disagree on like should they cut him. I think they should try to trade him. I don't think you cut the guy. That percent that Jerick McKinnon's back next season.
I don't think so. I think
this guy is a guy that gets signed in May most soft season, as a matter of fact, on a 1-year contract, and he's still over 30. So I don't think it's a guarantee he's back.
Only half of their roster is under contract last year. There are a lot of answers, but he's not.
I think he's getting a new deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think that he's on my list. Thornhill, I think, is gone. I think Juju Smith-Schuster has a pretty good chance of being gone. I don't know if that would be at this rate, right? You got through the season. You moved through these different options. It starts to feel like you don't necessarily need him. I know that sounds silly, and the thing about Juju is he's going to get a mountain of cash if he wants on the market. Someone will pay him, $17, $18 million a year? Remember before when Carrington was like 3 for 45? That's too high. Are you insane? No, man. He can get 4 for 60 from a team. He can get He can get more than that.
As long as they believe that
deal.
that knee, we'll find out. I think he's going to play on Sunday. But as long as the knee and their teams aren't to contract too, is so incentive-laden. Juju can make another $1 million, guys, on Sunday. Make another $1 million on Sunday.
He's supposed to make $1 million for winning the AFC title game.
He needed 50% of the snaps.
They'll probably
which is
pay him.
Maybe, maybe if it helps in this offseason and they think that'll help in negotiations there. But he can make $1 million if he plays 50% of the snaps and the Chiefs win the Super Bowl on Sunday.
Juju's my answer. I think this is his last.
You think this is it?
Yeah.
What about Frank Clark?
I think Frank Clark. It wouldn't shock me if he's gone. In terms of who am I most certain this is their last game, it's Juju. And it's only because I think we have vastly undervalued what his market's going to be. I think here's how I think the Juju thing plays out. We'll maybe kind of convince ourselves the Chiefs are in the mix, and we'll hear a report a few weeks after the season that said that talks have already begun between Juju and the Chiefs about contract negotiations. They're not finalizing anything. And then all of a sudden, we'll see a report from the Jets or the Bears, and it's going to be a massive number, and we're going to go, whoa, well, okay, I guess we know why the Chiefs didn't sign him. It's him and the next best receiver on the market.
Yeah, and we all talk about how much he likes Kansas City, and I think it is genuine. But at a certain point, if someone's offering gap in money is so dry, there's no such thing as just, you like staying a place, so you leave $20 million on the table. Now, if it's $5 million, $4 million, you could actually have a conversation about that. But nobody's leaving huge amounts of money or an extra year of guaranteed money on the table.
And don't you think it's easier to take that discount when it's a one-year deal?
Yes.
Because I'll take a discount for a year. I'll stick around for a year.
He was coming off an injury. He barely played last year.
Coming off an injury again.
But he was almost put up 1,000 yards this year.
But this will be his first big contract in the NFL.
Might be his only. That's the thing about NFL players.
You don't take discounts on those deals.
I mean, I pushed 610 from the 816 because Juju isn't a $18 to $20 million player no matter
Christian
who else
Kirk
is on
was.
the market. You may not think, quote unquote, that's where the market is at.
Yeah.
Let me tell you a little something about supply and demand. Okay? So it's just a little economics lesson.
No, thank you.
There is no supply of wide receivers, therefore Juju will be in high demand. Christian Kirk got $20 million a year last year. He's never had a season as good as Juju Smith-Schuster. He had a similar season to Juju Smith-Schuster this season. What is to say he can't get that kind of money? I don't think maybe it's coming in at 20, but he's 26. You just mentioned, hey, Jerick McKinnon's over 30. You can't really affect Smith-Schuster. He's quite young. You give him a 4-year contract, and you might still be out of it before he turns 30 or before he turns 31. That makes a massive difference.
Coming up in about 7 minutes or so, Steve Palazzolo of Pro Football Focus. We'll dive deep into this game, couple matchups and trends that stand out that could favor Kansas City or what trends actually favor Philadelphia heading into the Super Bowl coming up on Sunday. But real quick, guys, so obviously yesterday I appreciate you guys holding the fort down while I was back at the Airbnb.
Were you able to hold any food down is the real question.
So I finally had some food, some soup last night. That was the first thing I ate since Sunday night. And I thought we were in the clear until this morning. So I'm just not going to. We didn't bring the scale. If Cody and I were doing a weight challenge, if we were doing that,
not fair.
You'd be crushing him.
I would be crushing.
Nick and I
probably
ate like
lost.
5 rolls of
some
sushi
weight.
last night.
Yeah, I heard you guys had some sushi. But anyway,
we've got a story about that later.
Yeah,
by the way.
we will get to that. But my understanding is because someone tweeted at me, they said at least Nick thinks you look better than Carrot Top. And I was very confused, and I said, Carrot Top is still a thing? And then Nick responded with the photo of Carrot Top, and then I saw he was on another national radio show yesterday, and then I was told that you had a chance maybe to get Carrot Top on the show, and you guys turned him down.
I wouldn't say we had a chance. Now, if I
Why
would
didn't you have him on the show?
No, I'm saying if I would have pursued him, I'm sure we could have booked him. We just saw. I was scared.
You're scared to go and talk to Carrot Top?
Because I thought a vagrant had wandered into the building.
Well, he looked rough.
I was worried for a second.
I said it yesterday. He looked like
he's had a rough life.
He looked like he started smoking crack in 2004 and hasn't stopped since.
Well,
he made it very clear yesterday that he doesn't feel like that is what's happening. He's just saying that's what it looks like.
I mean, when he used to go on Jay Leno way back in the day and
had
had the props and stuff, I actually thought he was kind of funny. I've never went to Vegas and went to his show. He's done a Vegas show for like 20 years.
Dude, he didn't have any props yesterday, so I'm just supposed to have Carrot Top on.
Dude, he looked so disheveled, so bad. And I was like, oh, he looked like a guy who, I bet you he doesn't smell good sort of situation.
Wow.
You saw the picture.
Yeah, but doesn't mean that. So he's just a little rough.
So are you okay? Look at me with a straight face. Are you telling me you think we should have had him on?
Yeah, why not?
I think I just explained why.
I mean,
not.
you had Clark Hunt on. You had
So
J.J.
many
Piccolo
times.
on.
I think he probably smelled worse than your toilet yesterday afternoon.
Oh.
Yeah.
You sure?
I think so.
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure about that, Nick. Okay, I mean, now I hear your explanation. So that was the thought process you went through without having a Carrot Top on.
If you want to have the same effect, I could just go find like a hobo from the street. We could have him in here. See if I can give him a day pass.
Just put.
Ouch.
What do you mean, ouch?
I like the idea that you're.
You're right. Okay, you're right. He looked great. He looked incredible.
I'm saying he looked how he looked. He definitely looked how he looked.
And I think he smelled how he looked.
All right, guys, we are broadcasting from Radio Row here. It's Cody and Gold live in Arizona, and it's brought to you by Ray Gun and Baker University. Up next, though, Steve Palazzolo of Pro Football Focus stops by. He'll give us a breakdown and one trend in particular the Chiefs have to look out for on Sunday.
You're listening to Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gann Asphalt.
You got the Gann Asphalt live read, guys.
Concrete and parking lot maintenance. Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Don't miss Alex's That Betting Show every Thursday night at 7 o'clock. Right here on 610 Sports Radio.
Company with other big projects. Trust Gann Asphalt. You heard it, GANN asphalt.com. And you can make sure that they'll take care of your business to make sure that it looks the way it's supposed to. Those parking lot projects, you can't believe what a difference it can make for just the look of your business and the function of it. I just recommended to them. I'm like, all right, I'm sick of going to this place where my kids' youth soccer games is. It's out of control. Can't park, 90 potholes. Nobody wants to visit it. And it's a reflection of how you operate. They'll take care of you, and they've been in the business for over 25 years. They're locally owned and operated, and you can make sure, because they're one contractor, all things parking lot. If you're looking for asphalt and concrete, is now hiring all positions: project manager, dump truck drivers, operators, and crew members, starting pay up to $30 an hour based on experience with PTO and insurance as well. So whether you're looking for a career in this or you're just looking for those big projects like asphalt paving services, concrete services, or maintenance solutions, you know to call Gann Asphalt or give them a call, 816-319-0957 or GannAsphalt.com.
Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about Dan Dan the Wedding Man. Why rent a suit or tux when you could buy one from Dan Dan? Only $250 gets you a custom tailored suit or tux. And as always, Dan Dan has free alterations for life. It's the day your partner will remember for a lifetime, and it's a suit you can use for a lifetime. Best day, best look with Dan Dan the Wedding Man at 97th and Quivira. Online at dandantheweddingman.com or call 541-1192.
Hi guys, it's Mark. Valentine's Day should be a day to look forward to, unless you have erectile dysfunction. Don't ruin this Valentine's for you and your special someone. It's time to get the solution you want, not depend on the pills. Oak Ridge Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. Are you ready to make Valentine's great again and get the results you want in the bedroom? Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and blood flow analysis.
Check. Hey, fellas.
You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 913-295-8000. That's 913-295-8000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Oak Ridge Medical Clinic now to qualify. 913-295-8000.
Fuel your need for sports and delicious food at Bogey's Windy City Pub. All the sports packages, tons of TVs, scratch menu, weekend brunch, and low happy hour. It's always game time at Bogey's Windy City Pub, your neighborhood restaurant and sports bar. South Leawood, BogiesWindyCityPub.com.
This year, the
Hey, fellas.
Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sports.
Check.
FanDuel today and use my promo code CDOT, and you can bet Super Bowl 57 with the no sweat first bet. You'll get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel lets you bet on everything from the money line, point spreads. You can even bet who's going to score a touchdown. And what's cool about the Super Bowl is some of the creative prop bets. So you can guess what song Rihanna is going to perform first at halftime. That's just one of the mini cure, super easy to use, and best of all, you get paid your winnings instantly. Use the promo code CDOT to claim your no-sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. Make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sports partner of the NFL, and also 610 Sports Radio. 21 and $10 deposit required. Refund issue is non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreement with Kansas Star Casino, LLC. Gambling problem. Getting help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghelp.com.
Papa Murphy's is bringing you Cody and Gold live from Radio Row in Arizona. Get ready for the big game and order any 2-topping medium pizza for just $6.99. Any topping, any sauce, anytime. Just $6.99. Get exactly what everybody wants at papamurphys.com.
Apply to Baker University today at each of our 4 schools: College of Arts and Sciences, School of Nursing, School of Professional and Graduate Studies, and School of Education. Faculty provide creative learning experiences while challenging students to analyze issues with depth and clarity. Baker grads earn the highest average salaries among graduates from universities in Kansas, according to the U.S. Department of Education College Scorecard. Learn more about Baker University at bakeru.edu.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See.
Hey, check. Is anybody there?
/on.
Hey, just double checking. Nick's Notable Notes is a toss too, right? It's not a comeback.
Holiday packages that keep coming.
Cool.
Couriers.
Coming your way, but the drop-off location is changing.
She needs delivery drivers with the gift of punctuality.
Anyone looking to pick up some overtime?
Yeah, I got the Baker.
And help her hire great people fast.
And then for the Clark audio, are you guys doing that as well?
Candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get.
Oh, do I have yesterday's?
You should be shared under.
I'm looking at because I've got the Steve Palazzolo on here.
For pillows, but that painful.
No, Clark Hunt. Clark Hunt.
OTC part of my morning routine. With just one pill each morning. Prilosec OTC.
Oh, I was just curious. I can do it too. It doesn't matter.
Burn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn with Prilosec OTC.
Because you guys got 2 Clark Hunt clips, it looks like.
Days to treat frequent heartburn.
Okay.
Wait, there's 2
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare
Okay.
provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information. Subscription required.
Hey guys, did you know
It's to keep the smell of Carrot Top away.
works just the same but is 90% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to 4hims.com/joy. At Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation and discreet shipping if prescribed. You'll love your results. To start your free online visit, go to 4hims.com/joy. That's FORHIMS.com/JOY.
The Chiefs are one win away from another championship.
Mahomes pump faking. Now fires it late for the end zone. Caught! Touchdown! Kansas City!
Get ready for the big game with tons of Chiefs coverage, interviews with players and coaches, and 610 Sports Radio, free on the Odyssey app.
Butker's kick is up. The spinning kick high, floating in the air, and it is good!
Your Kansas City Chiefs, your Odyssey. Get in the game and download the free Odyssey app today.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Max Motors. 9 major vehicle brands to choose from.
All right, coming back, fellas.
Max Ford Hyundai of Manhattan is proud to be an official partner with K-State Athletics. We're passionate about helping you with your automotive needs. Visit maxmotors.com to learn more.
All right, we're back here in Arizona, Wednesday on Radio Row. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Nick Schwert with you, and we're brought to you by Baker University. We'll get to Nick's Notable Notes coming up in about 15 minutes or so. Also, you never know who's going to stop by throughout the day. Someone we do know is stopping by is Steve Palazzolo, though, from Pro Football Focus. And all our guests are brought to you by Ag Power, your local authorized John Deere dealer, and by Papa Murphy's. Get any medium 2-topping pizza for just $6.99 in-store or at papamurphys.com. Always good to have Steve on the show. Are you getting tired of the Chiefs at this point, though?
No, it's great. It's the Chiefs are a fascinating story anyway because it is interesting how they want to build around Mahomes, right? Like the Mahomes, the Josh Allens, the Joe Burrows. Like there's the strategies and how to build around those elite quarterbacks in the coming years. I think one of the biggest stories of the NFL. So it's all fun.
Is anyone else? So this is the biggest advantage the Chiefs have, in my opinion. Everyone did this, and they all have their guys on cheap deals, and now all their numbers are going to balloon. Mahomes is already ballooned, and they're still ahead of you. Is anyone else going to be able to convince their quarterback to work a deal like Mahomes? Is Burrow going to take a 10-year deal? Because that's really what they need. In order to keep up with the Joneses, right, they have to convince their quarterback to sign a 12-year contract. I don't know that anyone else is going to convince their team to do that.
I could see Burrow doing it. I mean, yeah, but what happens with that is the flexibility, right? You move cap space around. You're never consolidated in 1 year. The Deshaun Watson thing, having 5 years fully guaranteed, of course, throws everything off. You lose flexibility, and it's all guaranteed.
Yeah, he screwed that up for some people.
He really did. And even the way Dak was kind of going, like, in Kirk Cousins, guys that were saying, I want to hit free agency again. I want to be a free agent in 4 years. I want to be a free agent every 4 years. And they're maximizing their value instead of saying, I want to be locked in here. The Chiefs know exactly what they're getting into. They'll have some years where Mahomes' cap hit will be higher, other years where it'll be lower, and they have that flexibility. Maybe Burrow will end up doing that. Maybe Justin Herbert will end up doing that. But it does give a huge advantage, though, when you have that QB locked up long term.
Yeah, there's always been that sort of, and I don't know how much we'll be talking about this 5-10 years from now, but there's been this idea when you get these quarterbacks on the mega deal that your margin for error becomes so razor thin elsewhere on the roster, yet the Chiefs have found a way to still maintain their status. When you look at this iteration of the Chiefs, or if you just want to hyper-focus on Mahomes, what stands out to you about what he has done this year and his evolution compared to what we saw the first 4 years of him starting?
Yeah, I mean, I thought coming into the season, look, I was wrong about Tyreek Hill making them take a step back this year.
So were we.
Right.
We're in Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were going to take a step back, right? But I said, look, the opposite side of that is we've seen other times in history where, say, Matthew Stafford lost Calvin Johnson, and then Deshaun Watson lost DeAndre Hopkins, and both guys became just better quarterbacks and did stuff differently. Mahomes has adjusted, right? I mean, for me, the Mahomes Chiefs, I'll always compare them to, say, Brady and the Patriots, right? Because that's what the expectation is. And you can go back and say, okay, what are the things you may have learned, or just what did you learn throughout the Patriots dynasty? And Brady could adjust to any situation, which was what made him special. They had 2 tight end sets. They had a run-heavy attack, a spread offense. They were receiver-heavy. It doesn't matter. It was all – but he always made it work. And that was kind of like, all right, let's see Mahomes answer that question this year. What happens when it's Kelsey and friends? Okay, he's answered that. At some point he's going to have to answer what happens when Kelsey loses a step or gets old, right? And he'll probably check that box as well. So, but I think you learned that Mahomes could adjust to the way the league adjusted to him last year, taking all the underneath stuff, playing the patient game, throwing the spectacular plays out there when he needs to. But he's just playing quarterback extremely well this year and maximizing what they've given him.
By the way, my current working theory is that Travis Kelce will never age and
it's
never
true.
lose a step. I don't think
he's got the back spasms the other day, and he's just weaving through defenders. He looks like he's hurting, but it's like he's still faster than everybody.
Well, yes, I think he's aged. I think he's just like the toughest SOB. I think he will just play through anything.
I honestly, part of what I think it is that like people are like, well, nobody ever plays tight end great until they're 37. I'm like, well, no one else is Travis Kelce. You're asking me to like that. There's no comparison. So why would I try to pin him into everyone else's box?
Absolutely. I mean, he's incredible. He's been incredible. I mean, even Gronk was incredible for his time, but he didn't necessarily have the longevity and everything. So yeah, Kelsey's still doing it, and it should be hard for him to age because he's more receiver than pure inline tight end. But we haven't necessarily seen that yet.
When you look at the matchup between these two teams, largely like in Kansas City, we're going to try to make the argument that the offensive line for the Chiefs is just as good as theirs, or the defensive line for them is just as good as theirs. And although I think there's a slight difference, I'd make more of the argument for the offensive line. At Pro Football Focus, how close do you think that these things are? The Chiefs' defensive line versus the Eagles, the Chiefs' offensive line versus the Eagles. How close are these two teams in the trenches?
I think both offensive lines are close. I mean, the Eagles they're fantastic. They're great run blockers. They're excellent pass blockers. But the Chiefs are just as good. I mean, so here's where I was wrong a couple years ago. I thought the Chiefs corrected for the 2020 Super Bowl, right, and over-invested in the offensive line. And we still might see that, right? Orlando Brown's going to hit free agency. We'll see what happens there. But it felt like they over-invested there. But did they really? They do have a top-5 offensive line in the NFL, and they can run it when they want to. They do protect Patrick pretty well. He invites pressure when at times, but overall,
he's good at avoiding
solid.
the sacks, so you can let it go.
But they were he's so good at avoiding sacks, right? It doesn't matter if he invites pressure; it doesn't become a negative play. But when he was hurt, it was like the offensive line said, "That's it, lock it in," and nobody got close to him in that Jags game.
Pressure? Is that what it was in the Jags game in the second half? One
Yeah.
single pressure?
And it wasn't even the pressures. It was like, dude, he had that one pass that looked like he was playing at Alabama, right? Where it was like, I got 10 yards of space, and my receivers got 20 yards of space and all that stuff. So I think the O-line's close. D-line, I say the Eagles have the advantage. Of course, Chris Jones is probably the best player on both defensive lines, but the Eagles have the depth that the Chiefs don't have with Hargrave, with Hassan Reddick, with Josh Sweat. I mean, they just have so many good players up there.
Specifically with what the Eagles do offensively. We know Spags likes to keep offenses guessing. He does the exotic blitz packages. He's bringing in D-backs. He's bringing in cornerbacks. How does that work against this Eagles offense, which is pretty unique in how they utilize not just Jalen Hurts, but both those running backs, that running game? It seems like they put a lot of pressure on the D-ends, the outside linebackers to sort of make those decisions, somewhat similar to like a really good college offense. I don't mean that as a negative, but it does sort of remind you of what you see in a lot of the elite college programs.
Yeah, the way I describe good offenses in the NFL is they have to have answers, right? If you look at the Chiefs' offense last year, didn't always have answers against, to say, a too-high shell thrown underneath. The Eagles have a lot of good answers to everything. If teams are going to let them run, they'll run. If teams are going to take away the run, they can throw the ball outside to the receivers. They've got a good tight end. And then when you have the quarterback that does offset, that can run, that offsets a lot, right? Jalen Hurts being a part of the QB run game does make defenses simplify a little bit. So maybe Spags can't be as aggressive. Jalen Hurts is pretty good with blitz recognition and all that stuff. So I think the Eagles just are very, very good. They're not just a zone team or just a gap scheme when it comes to running. They do it all. And then Hurts is a runner, and then you got to cover those receivers on the outside. So they have good answers to whatever it might be. I think it's going to come down to when Spags leaves the corners in one-on-one and when they play their press on the outside, if A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith make plays, the Eagles have a chance to put up some points.
Is there a weakness that you see on the Eagles? Is there any area where you feel like maybe they're not as strong as others, or something you think the Chiefs would have a chance to exploit on Sunday?
I think it's more just the game flow of things. I mean, that's one of the talking points that my podcast partner Sam Monson keeps bringing up. They've led more minutes than any team in the last 5 years, the Eagles, and they've never lost their game flow. They haven't really had to play from behind. So they're that old cliche, like if you make this team that's really balanced and well-rounded and you make them pass over and over and over again, that could be the weakness, right? So if it's Mahomes and the Chiefs go down and score a couple touchdowns early, that might be where you see the Eagles in just a straight drop-back game if they get out of their game plan a little bit.
I know these defensive coordinators get paid a lot, so every time we in radio are like, I have a suggestion. It makes us sound kind of insane, but
let's make it anyway. Let's do it anyway.
But I'm going to do it anyway. I don't understand why defenses this year for the Chiefs haven't gone back and said, beat me deep. Prove it. All right, you got all the underneath stuff again. We are going to play close to the line of scrimmage. We're going to take this away for a little bit, and you beat us deep again. I know that you can lose quickly that way. I understand how it unravels in a hurry. But that also means drives get in quickly if it actually works.
Yeah, it's interesting because having Mahomes in that offense should make you think about things differently. It doesn't mean there's a certain strategy that's right. But I look at the 2009 Saints, the only time that the Saints won the Super Bowl with Drew Brees, they won in turnover margin. Their turnover margin was unbelievable, right? And that's not something you play for or predict.
Of the Chiefs this year.
Right, it's a luck thing, right? Yeah. But there's this style of, why not take chances? We have a great offense. And then when it all works in 1 year, it's okay, we can win a Super Bowl. There's this element of the Chiefs where it's what if we just did play man coverage? If they score a touchdown, who cares? We're going to score our 30, right? Or we're going to get to 28. We're going to get to 30. So, yeah, I think there's that element of just be aggressive, try to force turnovers or force three and outs when it comes to, playing man coverage. But the Chiefs just have to be good enough defensively in this world, right, with Mahomes. And the year that they run into having a legit top 10 defense, then yeah, they're going to be in the Super Bowl.
I think according by your metrics, this is what makes it funny to us, because that's what we kept saying. We're all right, Mahomes just a league average defense. They might have been almost perfectly league average this year.
Yeah.
When you take in the entire season, you're wow, how perfectly normal you were on defense. I guess, is that how you guys still view them, or are they playing better now because of how young those players were at some point versus where they are now, that we have to view them as slightly better than league average?
I think they've definitely played better these last couple weeks. I mean, it was a good Jacksonville offense that they pretty much handled, and a good Bengals offense. And just like Pat had his issues in the Super Bowl against the Bucs, where there was a weakness on the offensive line, a mid-tier defense like the Chiefs can exploit a bad offensive line like the Bengals, and that's what they did, right? That's why defense is tough to predict, because it is so dependent on who you're playing, right? The Bucs defense in 2020, they weren't elite. They just happened to they ran into a game where the Chiefs were so depleted on the offensive line, they looked like the 85 Bears for a night. So the Chiefs are capable of doing that, where Chris Jones can go have 10 pressures because you legitimately can't block him with Max Sharping, and that's the matchup. So that's how I describe the Chiefs. It's kind of like if the matchups are in their favor, they're going to look good in some games, and other games they're going to look not so good. And I think in this game with the younger corners, if the young corners are one-on-one, 10 to 15 times, it'll come down to can they play tight coverage against A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith.
So the Chiefs just won a game with, who was it at the end of the game? MVS and Marcus Kemp out there as like your two primary.
Jody Fortson lined up at wide receiver for first snap.
Mahomes on a bum ankle. Travis with the bad back. How much do the injuries at the receiver positions concern you going into that game? How much is that weighing on how you think this plays out?
I mean, they should be healthier. It is interesting because the Chiefs are less playmaker-driven this year, right, than they have been. It is Mahomes getting better as a quarterback, saying, oh, Marcus Kemp's open on, curl flat. Let's hit him on curl flat, right? It is less dependent on special players. And I think that does match pretty well with the Eagles' defense. They're going to play a lot of zone. They're going to play a lot of too high, and it'll just be Mahomes hitting the open guy. Now, you still want to have dudes that make plays, right? You want to have Kadarius Toney have a couple special plays, MVS get behind the defense and all that stuff. But I think they can handle it. I think they'll be okay. At the end of the day, though, I'm a playmaker guy. I do think that does win you games, and it is tough to forget. You did have Tyreek Hill against Buffalo last year. It's like, oh, here's this 11-yard crosser that turns into a 63-yard touchdown. You're kind of missing that this year. It'd be nice to have, but I think Mahomes and the offense are equipped enough to handle things.
Good enough time as any. Let's get our prediction brought to you by Ag Power John Deere and Papa Murphy's. What's your prediction for the game?
Oh, I change it. Every single place I got a different prediction.
No, you don't have to answer Chiefs. Just answer.
Really?
Well, I want your honest assessment. Who do you think is going to win?
I actually haven't had to make one just yet. So let's go.
First.
Let's
change
go.
it from here. You're not held liable for what you say here.
It's a close game. It'll be a good game. Chiefs, we'll say 27-24.
Are you just
Chiefs
saying
win.
that because we're in Kansas? Would you have told
Don't worry. I
see
my Pittsburgh friends over here, I always say positive stuff about Pittsburgh.
You're like,
when
Kenny
I'm on
Pickett's
radio
going to be a
with that.
star.
Oh, yeah. Always talk up Kenny Pickett and all that stuff. I got to know the audience, So 27-24 Chiefs.
Beautiful.
The dynasty continues.
Steve Palazzolo of Pro Football Focus. Check out their work at pff.com. Thanks so much. Really appreciate the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
And, of course, all our guests are brought to you by Ag Power, your local authorized John Deere dealer, and by Papa Murphy's. Get any medium two-topping pizza for just $6.99 in-store or at papamurphys.com.
I'm sensing a trend here this week, Gold. You're kind of letting Cody steal all the airtime during these interviews. He's getting all the questions in.
Can I peel back the curtain on that one?
Feel free.
You guys talked to him after the show yesterday, so that was
And where were you yesterday?
Well,
where do you think
in
you
bed
were?
And maybe at that exact – when did you record
at that
it?
exact moment, about 1:15.
About 1:15 local time.
In bed.
Okay.
In bed, yeah. At that point in time, yeah, in bed.
Did you get caught up on like a Netflix show? What'd you watch all day?
No, I literally just laid in bed and then fell asleep in and out, and then occasionally had to get up and pay a visit to the old bathroom. And that's how it went yesterday.
Lovely way to spend your time in.
Well, I'll be honest, flat out sucks. Flat out sucks to start the trip this way. But I guess what do they say? It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So that's the goal here. That's the mantra. That's what we're going with the rest of the week.
That's top 18 mentality.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I think.
That's it. Look, this is the 18th best midday show in the country.
Mid-market, but still it applies. How many mid-market?
60-something.
Oh, not bad. Top third.
Yeah, 60-something.
Even better.
61 or 68 of them.
Okay, I'm feeling better by the moment by our top 18.
You should. You should.
I'll be honest.
We'll get back into what Steve had to say about Philadelphia and the importance, clearly, of a quick start against them coming up in about 10 minutes or so. But let's get to Nick's notable notes.
Gotta write something down. Nick's notable notes.
All right, guys. Day 3 here. By the way, it's not called Radio Row anymore. Did you know that?
It's the Media Center. It's Media
Row.
It's because, as you can
so
tell,
everybody's doing podcasts.
Correct. Well, and podcasts, videos.
Oh, so we have to bow down to them? We're still on radio. We also all host podcasts, but that's not important.
No, not now. Not now. We're here doing our radio best. Okay, so I'm working with Blake back in studio. Shout out Blake for all the hard work he's doing keeping us on the air today. Yesterday, we scored an interview with the owner. How many titles does
Chairman and
have?
CEO?
Chairman and CEO. You know what? If you're the owner of the team, I don't think you need extra titles. That's kind of about
Owner's
as it gets.
pretty good.
And so a lot of people are talking about that interview. A lot of buzz around the streets right now. Just
Bat season,
Yeah. There's just so many great nuggets of information that came from that interview. But I think the most talked about, the most hotly debated moment of that discussion was when we were talking to Clark Hunt about the future of Arrowhead. What's going to happen to Arrowhead when the Royals move to downtown Kansas City? What are his visions for that? What it could look like? And in that conversation, though, perhaps more noteworthy than anything Clark had to say was something that Cody had to say. And it was not about what Cody said, it's about when he said it. Apparently, Cody Tapp, midday radio host, felt the need to interrupt Clark Hunt, billionaire NFL owner. So I want to let everybody know. I want to let everybody hear this audio and decide for yourself, was this acceptable, what Cody did during our interview with Clark Hunt. Blake, if you have the audio ready, please play it for us.
Well, something that we discussed back in 2005 and 2006 was the ability to do some development on the site. And at the time, the feedback we received from the developers in Kansas City, that area wasn't ready for development. It's something that we'll explore again because time's passed and development patterns have changed. Certainly, we would love to see some more development around the facility. We think that'd be good.
You think like Titletown, like Lambeau even?
That's something that's very specific. That's in a way attached to the stadium.
All right, Blake, I'm going to give you a second. I'm going to give you. We're going to talk here. I'm going to give you a second. I need you to isolate the exact moment where he interrupts him, and then Clark kind of trying to regain his thought, because that sounded like a man that was not prepared to be interrupted.
Wow, he caught himself. Do you think I should feel bad about interrupting Clark Hunt?
It's not just that you interrupted him, it's that you threw him off his train of thought. This is a very intelligent man, Cody.
Okay, I think that I interrupt everybody in my normal life.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm not doing it any different. I'm treating him like a person.
Have you
like
considered
a real regular person?
Have you considered
like the man
maybe you should stop interrupting everyone?
I have not considered that. Is this my
Alex,
moment?
unbiased observer, you were not present.
I was not.
What are your thoughts on what you just heard?
He clearly interrupted him, but to Cody's point, we just heard the Steve Palazzolo conversation. I think you interrupted Palazzolo as well. So he's not doing it on purpose. It just continues to happen.
But does Clark deserve preferential treatment?
No. He's a man like me and you.
I would have thought you would have laid back a little. I would have thought you would have stepped back a little bit more because he is the owner of the team, and it's the first time he's come on our show. But it is kind of what you do anyway. So you were being yourself.
Let me ask you this:
on brand.
Me, you, and Clark, we're all sitting in a bar. We're having a conversation. We're all that. What, you talking paragraphs? You give him his 4 sentences.
We're not
and then
at a bar. We're not at a bar. We're not tipping. We're not tipping back a couple of bottles. Blake, can we hear that? Can we hear that cut one more time?
More development around the facility. We think that'd be good.
You think like Titletown, like Lambeau even?
That sound. That is him saying are you? That's his way of saying are you kidding me right now?
He was trying to give. He was trying to give a real answer to the question about the future of Arrowhead, which we'll get back into in about a half hour. And yeah, you did. Who knows? He might have been giving us. You could have broken the whole story for us. He might have actually given us a scoop.
What if he
we'll never know? We'll never know.
He was about to say, "Okay, you know what? I wasn't supposed to do this, but you guys are so awesome. I'll go ahead and let you know now." And then he was going to unveil the exact plan for Arrowhead, and you had to get your Titletown. You mean I kind of like Titletown?
Why do I sound like Jimmy Stewart in your impression of me?
Oh, wow, I kind of like Titletown. Unbelievable, man.
You think like Titletown, like Lambeau even?
Text line, Cody would interrupt the Pope to ask him how many Christmas trees he has.
Dude, that was... you should have seen my face when he did it. I almost put my headset down and walked away. I was so embarrassed at that moment because I thought the interview was going so well up until that point.
I ended up listening back. I thought you guys did a really great job with it. I did. I thought he was great.
Other than that moment.
Even despite that?
Yeah, I still think it was a really good interview. I think you guys did a nice job.
We're going to talk later in the show.
That's why it's the 18th best major market.
Top 18.
I'll tell you what. 19th best radio show in the country. They're not interrupting Clark Hunt like that.
They're not. And
because
they're
not having real conversations. Mm-hmm. We're gonna dive because there's not just what he had in that conversation, what we were just hearing from talking about Arrowhead. there was also, I think, perhaps one of the more relatable moments in Clark Hunt's career, because these guys, I mean, they're not related. And this isn't a diss. These NFL owners, they're not relatable. They're billionaires. They run NFL teams. We don't have much in common with them, but I do think at the tail end of that conversation there was perhaps the most relatable I've ever heard an NFL owner sound, and we're going to play that audio for you guys coming up later in the show. I think we did an okay job of disarming Clark just a little bit.
Disarming.
You know what I'm saying, right? These guys have walls up. They have money and teams and assets and all of this stuff that they are working to protect. So it's tough to really get to know the real side of them. I think we did an okay job at that yesterday.
Those are Nick's notable notes as we're broadcasting live in Arizona, thanks to our friends at Ray Gun and Baker University. Up next, though, we're going to go back into what Steve Palazzolo had to say, in particular, the importance of one thing for the Chiefs right at the beginning of the game. That's next here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold, brought to you by Gant Asphalt and Concrete for asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance.
Sorry about that, fellas.
One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com. Don't miss Royals first baseman / NFL insider, Vinny Pasquantino, this football season with Cody and Gold.
My Twitter is about to unload of football tweets. First Jets game that I have free on Sunday. It's go time.
610 Sports Radio.
I was getting set to head out to Arizona for the big game, and that means we got to pack everything. Type of items in the past that I would normally have to worry about. No contacts, no glasses, though, on this trip, so don't have to worry about forgetting a pair of contacts, forgetting the contact solution, or glasses, early morning flight that we had. All of that, don't have to worry about it because my friends over at Dury Vision. I went in and got my free consultation. Found out a couple years ago I was a candidate for SBK Advanced LASIK, and now I just wake up and see with my own two eyes, which is going to come into handy because we're going to have some long days, some long nights. We're going to have some fun out in Arizona, and now I will not be dreading putting in contacts early on in the morning. And right now, there's no better time to call Dury Vision because they are extending their normal family discount to friends and family as well. You can save up to $1,000 on a LASIK procedure, but it ends on February 28th. So call Dury Vision now at 913-491-3330 or go online to DuryVision.com and tell them Gold from 610 sent you.
With inflation on the rise, you may be charging more to your credit card. But be careful. That increased debt can cause your credit score to suffer.
Don't get stuck with a low credit score and a mountain of high-interest credit card debt. Call Golden Oak Lending now.
Refinance with our low rates to wipe out your high-interest credit card debt and put extra cash in your pocket. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Land.
NMLS 114937.
Gates Barbecue is sure to please your palate for lunch or dinner. Gates sauces and seasonings can be ordered online at gatesbbq.com or stop by any of their 5 locations and bring Gates sauces and seasonings home to the family. Whether a family get-together or getting ready for your big game watch party, it all goes best with Gates Barbecue. Nothing says chilly winter days like the great flavors of Gates Barbecue, a Kansas City tradition.
Hey, I don't need to tell you, the City of Fountains is also the City of Champions. And when it comes to celebrating another trophy, no one can get you set up better than Kansas City's own Lucas Wine and Spirits Superstore. Choose from thousands of craft beers, craft whiskeys, and fine spirits, team logo bottles. And get this, over 200 different beers available in icy KC cold kegs. In fact, if you're looking for a KC-themed party, Lucas's giant selection of locally produced beers, wines, and craft spirits would fill a typical liquor store all by itself, especially one of those tiny Philadelphia stores. And as always, when you sell as much beer, wine, and fine spirits in a week as those stores sell in a year, you can sell it for less, much less. Lucas Wine and Spirit Superstore in the Northland, Overland Park, South KC, and online at lucaskc.com.
Lucas Wine and Spirit Superstore in a glass by itself.
Go Chiefs.
Matt Coker here with West Coast Men's Health. In the past 5 years, we've seen thousands of men at our clinics. Most guys tell us the same story, that in their early 50s, it's not that they couldn't function, they just needed help. They started taking Viagra, and it worked great at first. But after a few years, it stopped working. The problem is that their arteries had become more restricted since they started taking it, because Viagra does not unclog arteries. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we use acoustic wave therapy to target the real problem. We break down plaque and clear up the arteries so blood can flow like it did in your 20s. This restores function. And guys, listen to this. You won't have to take a pill anymore. So if this sounds like you, give West Coast Men's Health a call today and see how we can help.
Call 913-363-9439. That's 913-363-9439. 913-369. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com. HSA cards welcome and financing available.
Papa Murphy's is bringing you Cody and Gold live from Radio Row in Arizona. Get ready for the big game and order any 2-topping medium pizza for just $6.99. Any topping, any sauce, anytime. Just $6.99. Get exactly what everybody wants at papamurphys.com.
Inside the Huddle with Cody and Gold, each day from noon till 1 on 610 Sports Radio. Inside the Huddle is brought to you by Blue KC. Live healthy with Blue KC on the official radio partner of the Kansas City Chiefs, 610 Sports Radio.
I had a nighttime routine for my frequent heartburn. I would drink milk, I would sleep upright with more pillows, but that painful burning stayed. So I made Prilosec OTC part of my morning routine. With just one pill each morning, Prilosec OTC prevents excess acid production, blocking heartburn day and night. Now I have a new nighttime routine. I call it sleeping.
1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn. With Prilosec OTC. It's possible while taking Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days to treat frequent heartburn, not for immediate relief.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. When you're at your best, you can do great things. Working with a therapist can help you get closer to the best version of yourself. Because when you feel empowered, you're more ready for life's challenges. BetterHelp is a great therapy option. It's flexible, affordable, entirely online, and it matches you with a licensed therapist. Let therapy help empower you. Visit betterhelp.com/tryit to get 10% off your first month. That's betterhelp.com/tryit.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering professional-grade industrial supplies, plus real-time product availability and access to experts ready to answer your toughest questions. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
All right, boys, coming back.
Now French toast sticks are so delicious, some are saying that they're better than their mom's breakfast.
Excuse me, did you just say Wendy's French toast sticks are better than my breakfast?
Mom, is that you?
Answer the question.
I said some people are saying that because they're so crispy on the outside and fluffy on the inside and perfect in every way.
Uh-huh. And what do you think?
I think it's time to tell people to choose wisely. Choose Wendy's sweet and crispy home-style French toast sticks.
That's still not an answer.
At participating U.S. Wendy's during breakfast hours.
You're listening to 610 Sports News. Derek Johnson knows playoff football.
Derek Johnson came on the blitz and decleats Mariota.
Catch him every Monday at 7:30 with Vesco in the Morning, right here on 610 Sports Radio, KCSP Kansas City, WGAF HD2 Liberty, and Odyssey Station.
All right, back here live in Arizona on Radio Row. It is Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Nick Schwerk with you. Of course, you guys can hit us up on the J Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7610. And all our Radio Row coverage is brought to you by Ray Gun. We'll get to the trash of the day here in about 15 minutes or so. I can't believe it's actually now happening for a second time. That'll be in our trash of the day. We did see, we always like to tell people, like, who do we see as we're on Radio Row. We just saw Adam Pac-Man Jones, the latest football play. We mentioned Christian McCaffrey a little bit earlier.
I'm pretty sure that guy in the black jacket with, like, the silver feathers is famous, but I don't know who that is.
Nick is actually now away from the table. I'm watching him in the distance. He is on the prowl. Look at him walk. He's just right over there to your right, Cody.
Oh, he's working the room.
He's just slowly walking, keeping an eye out. He's going to try to see if he can't land us a big fish or two throughout the show.
It is a bit of like you know what? Honestly, probably the best way to describe it, Gold. You're the single guy in the show. It is like watching someone at like 1 in the morning, looking around the bar, seeing if there's somebody who's interested in hanging out a little bit.
Are you
looking
saying,
for some company?
Are you saying
that's Nick? He's just walking around, looking kind of lonely.
Well, I hope he doesn't settle. I hope he doesn't just settle for anybody. I hope there's still. I hope it's in this hypothetical. I still hope it's a 9 or a 10.
He's gonna come back with a 4.
I mean, that's the goal here is not to just land anybody.
Well, you know what the good
Big
news is?
Big fish only.
Well, that's what we're looking for. But, that time of day, you never really know how that's going to turn out. So I guess we'll let you know how it goes with Nick, who is officially doing a lap and away from the table.
We had Steve Palazzolo on about 25 minutes or so ago from Pro Football Focus, and he mentioned something about Philadelphia that, is something that has to be acknowledged, and that is really the importance for the Chiefs to get off to a quick start, but also to understand this is an Eagles team that themselves get off to a quick start. So the Eagles have won every game, Steve mentioned, this year when they lead in the first quarter. Now, how do the Chiefs fare in the first half as well? You can find stats. Philadelphia is the number one first-half football team point-wise in the league.
Turns out they've won a lot of their games.
At 18.2 average points. Chiefs are second, though. Now, it's almost a 3-point difference, but the Chiefs are the second best. So that's where it's like I think that Philadelphia first quarter, first half number matters more against lesser competition, some of the competition, frankly, that they've gone up against throughout the postseason run.
Here's why. So the stat itself, Gold, you know this from like a betting market angle. The stat itself doesn't make me think like, Kansas City's in trouble if they get down 4 points, right, or whatever. 5 points, 7 points in the first quarter. No, they're not in trouble. They're too good of a team for that. But the Eagles haven't had to play not their game. I think the importance of the lead part is making them be something they aren't. That's what I like about getting ahead against Philadelphia. They're a run-first team. They run it almost 60% of the time. Yeah, Jalen Hurts have his best season ever. All they do is run. What if, just hypothetically, what if they have to pass? I know that doesn't sound crazy, and I know you'd be like, oh, come on, Jalen Hurts, and he's had all these, and he's a runner-up for MVP most likely when they give the award out tomorrow and all those things. But you and I both understand, like that's the one advantage Kansas City has is because all they do is pass. They pass more than pretty much any other team in the NFL. They're never taken out of their game. This is their game. This is how they live. You're like, hey, the Chiefs have thrown it 30 straight times. I once watched them have a run-pass ratio of 4-1 in a game they won by 20. So they're not out of their element. They're never out of their element. Pass first is what they do. And I think in Philadelphia's case, you get an advantage on them. Maybe you can push them out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, certainly we haven't seen them have to also with the hurt shoulder for Jalen Hurts, right? We haven't seen him have to do that little. It's not what they want to do, but also everybody's assuming the game script nationally is like, Philadelphia is going to jump out to the early lead.
Because they have done that so much.
They have done that. How does Kansas City counter that? To your point, the Chiefs are more equipped, I still argue, to come back from a deficit, even up against Philadelphia. Now, no, look, you don't want to be in a 10-0 or 14-0 hole in the Super Bowl. However, if there was a team that was better positioned to do it between the two, it is Kansas City. I still think for the Chiefs, though, their first quarters, their first halves still are the second best in football. So I don't think the gap is as big.
What's the point difference when you were looking at it?
For the first half, Philly 18.2, Kansas City 15.5. If you just look at the last 3 games, 21.7 for Philly.
Oh, man.
18 for Kansas City.
18 points in a single half. This applies to the one thing we know. The Chiefs score way less in the second half of football games. By the way, so does Philly, because the Chiefs were the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL. So whatever the difference is in what we're talking about, the Chiefs score more than them in the second half than Philly does score in the second half. But I think there's something about taking somebody out of their game.
Specifically the first quarter, though, if you look at the numbers specifically for the first quarter, 5.8 points in the first quarter for Philly, 5.4 for Kansas City. The Eagles are 4, and Kansas City is 5th.
I think that when I get that. They're still close. Philly is but that's it. You know how this is. The NFL works very simply, Gold. If nobody ever forces you to do something you're not doing, that's how you get the advantage. Like Philadelphia's case, it's so hard because their identity, Gold, is run. Run. They are the exact opposite. And the Chiefs' defense is being put into a position of having to guard a way that they wouldn't normally have to guard. They probably haven't faced a defense like that yet, right? You don't think Chiefs haven't faced a team that plays like Philly? No, the Eagles have faced a team that play like the Chiefs. Not play as good as the Chiefs, but play like the Chiefs.
Yeah, that's. Philly's offense is a unique style compared to what Kansas City has seen. However, like what you were just said at the end, though, I don't think the Eagles' defense has seen an offense like Kansas City. I know they haven't. You know how I know that?
Yeah,
they're the best offense in football. The Chiefs are the best offense in football. That's how we know they haven't played a team like
But
this.
But they haven't even played the second best offense in football. It's not just that they haven't faced them. It's they haven't faced anywhere close to that level. What was the we universally decided, I guess, maybe last week, the best quarterback the Philadelphia Eagles
Well,
faced this season, like Trevor Lawrence.
Well, it was Rodgers for for 2 quarters or whatever, and then he got hurt.
Okay, so Rodgers for a half, and by the way, Rodgers this season is not he's better than Trevor Lawrence, but Rodgers this season, those are like comparable quarterbacks. They didn't face Burrow or Allen or Mahomes or the guys we would have put in the upper echelon category, the top 5, top 10 quarterbacks. Because if Trevor Lawrence is a top 10 quarterback, he's just barely there, right? It's like right on the fringe. And Aaron Rodgers didn't exactly play like a top 10 quarterback this year. And every time I go back through, I feel like that has to matter. And that's why, like what you're saying, Gold, like it doesn't seem crazy that the Chiefs would jump out to some that.
I was trying to pull it up because I think Palazzolo was mentioning the status of it pretty much has happened every single time. I actually think the Eagles-Commanders game this year, that was a scenario where I think that was the one time where it didn't happen.
Where they weren't. Oh yeah, the one time they didn't have a lead and win.
Yeah, I was trying to.
That game was
I was trying to pull up the box score again.
Sure, maybe that
they
one was
went,
off.
So the Eagles were tied in the first quarter in that game.
Okay.
So that's why, and also that was this was in the first game in September where the Eagles.
Was that
won
one where he
24-8.
almost died? Where like the stands? Do you remember when like the stands collapsed on Jalen Hurts?
Wasn't that a year ago?
Was that last year?
That was a year ago. I think that was a year ago.
Wasn't that in Washington?
That was earlier. That was a year ago. But no, when they played Washington the first time this season, it was just a scoreless first quarter in particular. I'm not sure about the last meeting there, but appreciate Steve Palazzolo and his insight on that particular trend for the game. I do think, though, the news from media night and also yesterday in the media availability stood out for Juju Smith-Schuster and Kadarius Toney. I think both these guys are playing in this game. You have Kadarius Toney coming out.
You think so, huh? Just them talking about playing means they're playing?
Well, Kadarius Toney flat out said he, quote, is definitely playing in the game on Sunday.
Well, practicing for the second straight day.
I feel like when a player flat out says that, it's not like, oh, I feel good about playing. When you
I feel like that's what everybody would say. I bet last night you would have said, I'm definitely hosting the show tomorrow. You weren't.
Well, I am. Am I
but,
here?
But, you,
but
but
I am here.
But I'm saying Monday night you would have said that. You'd been like, I'm definitely going to be in tomorrow. Maybe not. I don't know. But I feel like that's just what people say.
He's got an ankle injury, not a soft tissue issue, which has been a problem for him throughout his career, why he hasn't been able to stay healthy. So I actually think Kadarius Toney is playing in this game. I think Juju's playing in this game. We mentioned the incentive for Juju as well, if he can give it a go at all. He plays 50% of the snaps on Sunday, and he gets $1 million. So I feel good about both of them.
The AFC title game. He had $1 million on the line for both. Now, I still think, and I told Nick this, it's not totally uncommon that a team would pay that out. It's not crazy that a team would just put $1 million. They're giving you $1 million for not playing more than 50% of the AFC title game once. Juju is still my bigger concern because, as much as we talk about, like, what percentage would Mahomes be, he was not doing well after that game. I know it's 2 weeks. I know he says he's going to play. I know that he's practicing.
I mean, we're getting practice reports.
Yeah, we are. I still and look, nobody's out there because only once. So this is like the weirdo thing about like Radio Row, right? On Radio Row or on the radio coverage or the media coverage, only one person is allowed to go watch practice. It's not even a local person. So like Pete Sweeney or Nate Taylor, guys who come on the show, they don't get to go watch practice. It's one guy. One guy gives them like a pool report.
Regarding the nuclear codes?
I don't know, man. I mean, I don't even know what the point is. You cover this team all year, and then all of a sudden now you can't sit in on a practice just to see how Juju Smith-Schuster's operating. No, it's one national reporter. It's not even a local guy. One national reporter who's going to go out there and watch a little Chiefs practice for 15 minutes. But so, like, that's what makes these things difficult to assess, Gold, is like they can be like Juju's fine, but they don't want the Eagles to know what percentage he is going into the game. And what percentage am I comfortable that he'll give them similar production? 70, 80%? Like, can he be 100%? Like, how high can it go?
I mean, there's no question, though, who's more important for me if you're picking one to be ready, and it's Juju. I mean, it's not even close between the two. Kadarius Toney is dynamic, yes, and he can make guys miss, but it's not even close in terms of the potential.
Seems like a fairly obvious choice, doesn't it? I think people have fallen in love with Toney, but it's like, I don't know, he gets like 20 yards a game, 25 yards a game. He only plays like 30% of the snaps. He is a fun player. It is a nice thing to have. It is a good thing for the offense, all those things included. But in the end, the only thing the thing I care about is who is the most productive player. That's clearly Juju, if you're giving me the choice between the two guys. Could you imagine having $1 million on the line, too, and being like I would do anything to my knee, man. I would be like, hey, we don't really do shots of Toradol on the knee anymore. You're like, put 4 of them in there. I don't care. $1 million, dude. That's like Lawrence Taylor in Any Given Sunday, right? Like when he just straight up says, like let's do it. So to me, it's that remember, like he gets knocked down and you're like, hey man, are you okay? And he's got his like 7,000th concussion, and he's like, I just made $1 million. That's how I feel like Juju's gonna play with his knee.
I think he's playing, man. I think he's definitely playing, and I think he is too valuable as a possession receiver for this team going up against this defense. I think
because in the middle is where you can attack him.
That's the area. Their linebackers in particular, they really struggle with tackling as well. So I agree with you. We're also expected here at some point this hour to have Jeff Schwartz join us. Of course, former Chief Jeff Schwartz does a lot of media work now, the brother of Mitchell Schwartz, who joins CDOT every single week. So we'll have to not only talk about this offensive line matchup, but also got to talk about his brother a little bit that goes on, who's trying to obviously
see who's the better media guy.
Yeah, we'll find out who's thinks they're doing a better job at that at this point.
I am curious because again, I'll make out the point for everybody who wants to just crown the Eagles as the better offensive line. Do sacks and penalties not matter anymore? Like maybe you're the best when you're playing your best, but you make a lot of mistakes, or somebody does. I don't know if it's Jalen Hurts running into every sack, or he's making you commit all those penalties, but something's happening there. I don't think that that's an accident when those are two things that we regularly, and have, by the way, for like the Chiefs. How many times we've criticized Andy Reid for being a penalty-prone team? All, like penalty. Matter of fact, I saw a stat from the same guy who hates the Chiefs, Scott Kaczmar.
I really feel like he does.
Dude,
every stat that comes out is slanted towards that direction.
Yeah, because the most recent one was like, guess who had the most DPI penalties called against him? It's the Chiefs. Guess who had the least? Guess who had the worst and the least called for their players? The Chiefs. Who had the best differential and pass interference calls? The Eagles. You're like, wow, man, you're digging. You're really digging. This is back-to-back times. We're having to go back through this again. I don't want to do this. But penalties matter. Like we talk about Rashad Fenton. The reason why Rashad Fenton got cut was because in training camp, Patrick Mahomes was like, we're not getting better because all you keep doing is committing the same penalties you get called for in games. So when they get later in the year and they start seeing some of these other players play well, Gold, it gets a little easier to cut Fenton then, doesn't it? The amount you are penalized matter. It'll be interesting to see what Jeff Schwartz thinks about it because I still think the Chiefs' offensive line is just as good as the Eagles.
All right, let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
Well, I'll take the trash of the day today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, you know what? I had it penciled in for yesterday. You weren't on the show, so I'm like, okay, Gold usually does trash of the day. I didn't have anything, but then I found something. Okay. But it was so good. It was so good for trash of the day, I decided I needed to save it for today instead. I didn't want you to miss out on both Gum Bucket and trash of the day.
So kind of you,
So I have saved this for you, with you and Nick in mind. And as soon as this loads, I'll actually play it. But when you talk about what trash of the day was made for, it's this. You might know on this show, anybody who might be listening, might be familiar with it. One of the things we are regularly known for doing and have done is play the Whopper Whopper song. Did you know that there's a new Burger King commercial?
Is that, like a real one or just another parody? Because we played the Cincinnati parody, which was terrible. The guy didn't have any, it was just like a cappella.
Oh, no. Prepare yourself.
BK Stackers, bun, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, bacon, burger, cheese. We can do this all day. And BK, have it your way.
What do you think? Burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese.
It's now burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese. That's the new Whopper, Whopper, Whopper.
Well, they're advertising a different product of their line. Do you like that one or Whopper, Whopper?
The original, the original is still going to be way more annoying than this one.
Whopper,
Whopper,
cheese?
Whopper, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese is not as annoying as Whopper, 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 Whopper.
But it's still the same beat.
Oh, it is the same beat. This is smart. They're just taking it. Look how much love they get on our show. How much attention they get on their show.
Honestly, I think that they should sponsor the show. We should work with Burger King based on the amount of Whopper, Whopper, Whopper we've played. So you think that this one's less annoying than the other?
Yeah, no question.
I thought it was shocking to find out that there was a new Burger King song. Just one more time for those who missed it.
Oh.
BK Stackers, bun, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese, burger, cheese.
Yeah, that's not, that one's, I think what's annoying about it is also just the actual, like, beat of the song now. That's what's more annoying to me at this point. Yeah, that part is actually more ridiculous at this point. That's what
So that's the earworm for you.
Yeah, that's more than the actual words.
Are you still hearing the one the Cincinnati guy did?
No, I don't.
We can't do that. We can't do one for the Chiefs. It's bad luck.
I don't remember the exact lyrics on that one.
I still can't believe he did that, but didn't put the backing music to it. That's the whole jingle. You can't just, like, say words in a certain rhythm and then just assume that that's going to be the case. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Sorry, we are playing audio from our computer, and then Pete Sweeney sent us a text.
So you're blaming it on Pete Sweeney.
Yeah, I'm blaming Pete Sweeney. We're in the middle of a show here, so I'm just going to unplug that, so that's not a problem anymore. Pete Sweeney did not prepare me for sending me and by the way, really important text, Pete Sweeney, to send a ding through the show right now. It is a photo of a wretched parking job he has done in front of the place in which we're staying.
Well, you just take up 2 spots?
No, he's just like way off of the curb. Pete's not a good parker.
Well,
I don't know if it's all the time or if it's just
this car that he's not used to. Somehow Pete is driving a brand new Ford Bronco as his rental car.
Are you guys sad I did not secure that for us?
Well, I will give Nick credit on this. Nick tried to get you to ask for an upgrade for the rental car, be bold, and all that. And I don't know, for whatever reason, when you were talking, your negotiating did not get us anything.
Okay. We were at the lowest quality car rental place.
Here we go.
On Earth. We're not going to name them.
Here we go.
This isn't this isn't like a big chain.
Nick warned you. He said, smooth talk the lady at the counter, see what you can do, and absolutely nothing was accomplished.
It was Fox.
You were not on the air.
No, you were not
Nick.
on the air.
No, you're not on the air.
Bad news, Nick. No one can hear you. You are a ghost to this program. Maybe try flipping them, I guess. I don't know.
It was Fox.
Why would you say it? Why would you say the name of it? They didn't do anything to deserve that.
He hadn't had his headset on the whole segment. He put it on just to say Fox.
Just to tune in for that.
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. That was the trash of the day. I thought you guys would like a new Burger King song. That way we can both play Whopper and Burger
How are you finding this? You just have a list you get sent now anytime there's a new commercial.
Like I'm on there.
Fastfoodcommercials.com or something.
I'm somehow on their. I'm just like on their list.
Someone says, "Can we get a Cody tap song?"
What would it be about?
What?
But what? The Chiefs winning the Super Bowl? Super Bowl.
No.
Doesn't sound as good. You don't want that.
Just that 5 seconds of that was already enough. It was already enough for me.
Well, there's no music behind it. Of course, it's going to sound terrible if we do it that way. You know that.
All right, coming up next, guys, we're going to get to the Chiefs Red Half Hour as we continue broadcasting live from Radio Row. Former Chiefs offensive lineman joined us at some point this hour as well. But you guys had Clark Hunt on the show, and when you talked to him about the future of Arrowhead, stadium renovations, there was one thing that really stood out. I think maybe gave us a hint about what is actually going to happen out of the Truman Sports Complex. We'll get to that next.
Cody and Gold on 610 Sports Radio, brought to you by Gann Asphalt and Concrete. For asphalt, concrete, and parking lot maintenance, Gann Asphalt and Concrete. One contractor, all things parking lot. Trusted in Kansas City since 1994. Online at GANNasphalt.com.
BetMGM, the official sports betting partner of the Kansas City Chiefs, celebrates the big trip to the big game with a special offer for football fans. Sign up using promo code SB1000 and receive up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. When you register with BetMGM, you'll get instant access to a variety of parlay selection features, live betting options, player props, and of course, daily boosted odds specials. Find out why BetMGM is the king of sportsbooks for Chiefs fans. Sign up today with that bonus code SB1000 and get up to $1,000 back in bonus bets if you don't win your first bet. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 years of age or older to wager. Kansas only. New customers offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. First online real money wager only. Rewards issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire 7 days from issuance. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Papa Murphy's is bringing you Cody and Gold live from Radio Row in Arizona. Get ready for the big game and order any 2-topping medium pizza for just $6.99. Any topping, any sauce, anytime. Just $6.99. Get exactly what everybody wants at papamurphys.com.
Hi guys, it's Mark. Valentine's Day should be a day to look forward to, unless you have erectile dysfunction. Don't ruin this Valentine's for you and your special someone. It's time to get the solution you want, not depend on the pills. Oak Ridge Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge University. Are you ready to make Valentine's great again and get the results you want in the bedroom? Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and blood flow analysis totally free, you'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 913-295-8000. That's 913-295-8000. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Oak Ridge Medical Clinic now to qualify. 913-295-8000.
If you are a local business owner, it's probably been a bumpy ride from pandemic to inflation. Did you know that if your business has 5 or more employees and managed to survive COVID, you could be eligible to receive a payroll tax rebate of up to $26,000 per employee? Not a lot of people know about this. It isn't a loan. There's no payback. It's a refund of your taxes. The challenge is getting your hands on it. How do you cut through the red tape? Get your business the refund money? Well, go to getrefunds.com. That's getrefunds.com. The team of tax attorneys they've put together are highly trained in this little-known payroll tax refund program and have already returned $1 billion to businesses, and they can help you as well. They do all the work, no charges up front. You simply share a percentage of the cash they get for you. Businesses of all types can qualify, including those who took PPP, nonprofits, even those that had increases in sales. To find out if your business qualifies, just go to getrefunds.com, click on Qualify Me, and answer a few questions. That's getrefunds.com.
The only app you need at your Super Bowl party is FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Download FanDuel and bet Super Bowl 57 with a no-sweat first bet. You'll get up to $3,000 back in bonus bets if your first bet doesn't win. FanDuel lets you bet on everything from the money line to point spreads to who will score a touchdown. The FanDuel Sportsbook app is safe, secure, and super easy to use. Join FanDuel with promo code WIN to claim your no-sweat first bet on Super Bowl 57. That's promo code WIN. Make every moment more.
Check 1, 2. We there, fellas?
21 plus in select states. Must be present in select states to wager. First online real money wager. Only $10 deposit required.
Yeah, we're here.
Is non-withdrawable sportsbook bonus.
Okay, just making sure you guys didn't disconnect or anything.
During the break, we turn our mics all the way down.
Gambler, visit FanDuel.com/RG for Colorado, Iowa.
Oh, okay. No, you're good. You're good. No worries.
1-800-NEXT-STEP or text next step to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700 or visit ksgamblinghhelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-7-0-STOP in Louisiana, visit www.mdm.org in Maryland, 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text
That's like the classic, like, jokey, douchey radio. I need to hear more me. More
This
me.
week at Macy's, find Valentine's Day gifts for all your loves, like fragrance gift sets they'll adore. Plus, take an extra 15% off with your coupon or Macy's card. On top of beautiful jewelry finds, now 35 to 70%
Dude, I saw that
off.
tweet from that
And
Philly beat writer
25%
today. He
off
was like,
decadent
you know, I
chocolate
got to be
from
honest, if you were
Godiva.
building a quarterback in a
Macy's
lab,
Star
you
Rewards
build it more like
members earn
Jalen
on
Hurts
every
than Patrick Mahomes. I'm like,
purchase
no,
except
you
gift
wouldn't.
card
No one
services
would.
and fees. More at Macy's.com/Star
What are you
Rewards.
talking about?
Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
I feel like I'm the only person who make that
They
thing work.
say they'll get your biggest tax refund.
Look at that.
Jackson
What's up
Hewitt
with your
says
news
your
phone? Is that
biggest
your
tax
phone?
refund guaranteed. And a chance to double your tax refund.
Nick, you can use this thing to
Thousands in
digest
weekly prizes during the Double Your Refund sweepstakes.
Nick, you can use that little...
Your biggest refund times
that
2,
thumb thing, we'll
twice
move it,
the
like,
money.
right up
So
down.
forget about them. File your taxes on the double at Jackson Hewitt today. No purchase necessary to enter or win. Open to U.S. residents 18 or older who file a 2022 federal tax return. Promotion ends 4/2/23. Visit jacksonhewitt.com for rules.
Guys, fellas, men, are you Roman ready for Valentine's Day? Right now, generic Viagra, a.k.a. Sildenafil,
what are you
is
do-
just
what are you
$4
talking
per
about?
dose
No
at
one
Roman.
thinks that.
Just complete a free online visit with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If medication is appropriate, Roman sends everything right to your door with free shipping and in discreet packaging. Go to ro.co/Viagra to get generic Viagra for just $4 per dose. Do it. Guaranteed shipping by Valentine's Day. That's ro.co.
Nature Valley has helped restore access to 10,000
How much longer
miles
we
of
got, Mike?
national park trails. And we're on our way to restoring even more because every mile is a new memory. Life happens out there. Nature Valley.
Yeah, you're good. I was just doing some time. You got about 45 seconds. Okay,
cool.
High of 42.
Weather brought to you by Total Wine & More. At Total Wine & More, save big on what you love this month with hundreds of deals on amazing wines and spirits. Love what you find at the lowest prices only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly.